you, Lascan Corla, and welcome the opportunity to speak on this piece of legislation. I specifically want to raise the issue, Minister, with you regarding the Irish Land Commission. I had a neighbour of mine into me recently, a Mr. Pat Shine, here in the House, and he has unfortunately, in his retirement, been involved in the registration of bogs in County Roscommon. And in the case of his own family, there was 280 pages of documentation had to be submitted to registrars. 96 different documents. It had to be signed in 98 different places, and it took 3 years to process that. And the big difficulty for him in relation to all of this was getting access to the Irish Land Commission records for his own family. The query that he got back from the Land Registry, or the Property Registration Authority, went to 5 pages of legal questions. And this is what families around this country are dealing with at the moment, trying to register bogland because of the lack of access to this particular data that has been stored in the Irish Land Commission records in Portlaoise. Now, unfortunately, I've had, over the years, a lot of experience of dealing with the Irish Land Commission, or the Lands Division in the Department of Agriculture, and on numerous occasions I've dealt with Ms Josephine Tierney there, who deals with the files from County Roscommon. And she, no more than any of the other officials, are pulling their hair out trying to manage these particular paper records that have not been digitised. We're talking about somewhere between 7 and 17 million records that are uncategorised in the warehouse in Portlaoise. And outside of the National Archives, this is the single largest collection of records dating back to the late 19th century and early part of the 20th century within the Irish Land Commission. And it was set up as a result of the 1881 Land Acts. Now, Minister, these are in a warehouse in an industrial estate in Portlaoise at the moment. You have to get written permission from the descendants of the people that were involved in the original transactions in order to get access to that particular documentation. As far as the Department of Agriculture are concerned, they consider them private and personal records. My own family records are in there. Many people, particularly across the western half of this country, their records are held there. I'm sure some of your own family records are held there as well, Minister. And we should have these digitised and made available. There is a substantial amount of history there in those records, and particularly because we lost so many records during the Civil War in this country that were in the forecourts. Many more records that were in the Custom House at the time. This particular resource is a vital resource for people tracing their history, tracing their ancestry, but as I say, it is a vital resource to this day for families that are trying to register their plots of land, of bog. And the difficulty is that there is no one going to be able to go to any solicitor to go through the process that Pat Shine went through. Now, it's okay for him, it's a love of this, he's retired, and he can do that. But there is no solicitor that is going to be able to give any type of a reasonable fee to ensure that the half-acre or acre plot of bog that they were given by the Irish Land Commission is properly registered and recorded. And we're denying people access to their own lands, to their own property rights, by not providing access to these particular records. And I believe these records shouldn't be just accessible to the people and the families whose names are in them. This is a history of this state, probably one of the most comprehensive histories that we have left in this state because of what happened during the War of Independence and the Civil War in this state. And each and every one of those records need to be digitised and made available online so that we can all access them and look at them. And I hope, Minister, in your response, that you can give some positive indication that this will be a priority of government. Thank you.